2016 marked a change for many a rider. There was changes in teams, components and even bikes. But on top of that, there has been Olympic medals being given, there has been world champions crowned, World Cup overall champions given. But those bikes have been lovingly maintained by the mechanics, crafted by the engineers. But what were the very 5 fastest and what were my favourites? Well, here are my top 5 from 2016, and the best part is I have seen all these bikes in the flesh and they are awesome. I'm going to kick it off with Gwin and the fact that he took that YT Choose carbon frame set that he'd never ridden in a World Cup race before. He took it into Lords and he won the first one. Then he went on to win the World Cup overall. The bike is dripping in components from Renthal. You've got TRP brakes, E13 components, SRAM drivetrain, and you've got Fox air suspension both on the front and rear. Check that thing out. It is one pimp bicycle. Olympic gold medalist, world champion in 2016, Nino Schurter, the very man himself of cross country. And let's take a look at that Scott Spark that he's been riding. It's got 100mm of travel both front and rear. Suspension is covered by DT Swiss, and Nino worked really hard with Scott to develop a bike that he could actually run 29-inch wheels on. Previously, he'd only used 27.5. He couldn't get his stem length in the right position to get really low so he could get over the front of the bike and really work it. The cockpit is covered by Ritchie. You've got DT Swiss deep section wheels. Check those tan sidewalls out on the tires. They look really cool. And then it is all topped off with that SRAM Eagle group set. Check the gold cassette, 10 tooth, all the way up to 50 tooth. This is one seriously cool bike and maybe my favorite of 2016. Danny Hart, the Red Car Rocket. Now, we took a look at his bike in Lenzerheide just before he went on to win his first World Cup downhill race. He then, after winning 1, went on to win 3 in a row and then the World Championships. So this is undoubtedly one of the fastest bikes of 2016. Let's take a look at that spec though. So it's a Mondraker Summon bike. You've got Fox suspension both front and rear. Danny's actually using the coil. DT Swiss wheels, you've got SRAM components and Renthal bar and stem. I've got to say this is one really cool bike and it is awesome to see Danny doing so well aboard it. It just looks smooth, stylish and really working well with the bike. Another Olympic medalist, Jenny Rissveds this time. What can be said about the 22-year-old Swedish rider? Now, a lot of people would have called her the underdog. They wouldn't have expected her to get a gold medal or to win the World Championships under 23 and then get an elite World Cup win as well. What a season she has had. But she has been riding that Scott Contessa Spark. Very similar, I have to say, to Nino Schurter. But let's take a look at it. Check the colours on the frame. That baby blue with the black looks really cool. DT Swiss, deep section wheels, tan sidewall tyres. You've got tubs in there, you've got DT Swiss suspension with lockout, and again that SRAM Eagle drivetrain. This is one seriously nice bike, and along with Nino, they have got to be the fastest cross-country bikes of 2016. In women's downhill, there's only been one rider who has really challenged Rachel Atherton, and it has got to be Tanni Seagrave. At the Lenzerheide World Cup, she came just 0.7 seconds behind her. At one point, I even thought she was going to take the win. Anyway, I checked out her pro bike, and it's a Transition TR450 in that baby blue color, which I think looks absolutely awesome. You've got Fox suspension, both front and rear, and Tanni chooses to use a coil shock from Fox. You've got DT Swiss wheels, Schwalbe tires, and she is one of the few riders using that Schwalbe Procore system. So you've got an inner and outer chamber which gives you a little bit more grip but also puncture resistance. In 2017, I think Tanni is going to be one rider to watch. So there you go, they're just some of the fastest bikes that I checked out in 2016, and there are definitely some missing from the list. I'm sure you're going to call me out in the comments and say, why haven't you checked out this bike, or why was this bike not included? But anyway, if you want to watch some more pro bikes from GMBN, why don't you click just up there, and if you click down there, you're going to get to some pro how-tos. Don't forget to subscribe, click, perhaps on me, and you'll get a great video every single day of the week. And if you like bike checks, then give it a thumb up like.